Hey everyone, thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to take a look at the Rite Edge DM-1124 Damascus fixed blade knife. Alright, thanks for joining me today. In the spirit of bringing you budget items, I found a company, actually I knew about them before, who produces some very affordable Damascus blade knives, and the shocker is they're not made in China. They're made in, let's hope that focuses, Pakistan. I know, not much better, but at least they're not giving money to the red Chinese. Anyway, this is the DM-1124. It is a fixed blade Damascus steel knife. I'm going to give you a look at the steel on there. If you've been around the knife community for a while, you absolutely love Damascus steel. Let's focus that a little better. And it comes with this sheath, and I gotta say, I was actually impressed with the quality. I looked at picking up a Damascus knife as kind of an everyday carry straight knife, you know, a fixed blade knife, instead of a folder for some occasions. And I really couldn't find anything that was affordable. Everything was, the lowest I saw was $200, and the highest I saw was up in the $400 or $500 range. So I checked this company out, and I actually found it by accident online. And this is what the box will look like. Has a little color changing logo there, DM Damascus knife. That's the logo, Rite Edge. And before we freak out about it being from out of the country, I want to show you a little, this was one of my early mistakes, but turned out not to be a mistake. Years ago when I was at a gun show, I bought this. It was my first fixed blade knife for my bug out bag. It is a Rite Edge. It has the cheap plastic scales. It's stainless, but gosh, who knows what kind, made in China. And as you can tell, this knife has taken a beating. This knife has single-handedly batoned almost all of the wood you've seen in my stove videos as of late. I wanted to test it out because I had it just sitting on the shelf. And it's still holding an edge nicely. It's razor sharp. So I gotta say, you know, for the money, this was $6. This, of course, runs about $65. But I think they have their stuff together as far as their steels and making their knives. One of the things I liked about it is it's comfortable. It's not a huge knife. You know, we'll take a look at comparison here. It's not a gigantic knife, but it's pretty close to what you'd consider a comfortable, you know, field knife. I've been playing around with it a little bit, you know, just chopping up some wood and feather sticking and such, and I really like it. One of the nice things about it is it's got a nice big spine on it. So if you want to grind up some, you know, use the spine to grind up some fat wood, it does a really excellent job, as you can see. It also will strike a ferro rod. I'm just going to try not to start a fire here. But you can see it'll strike a ferro rod very well. So I like the spine. It's very comfortable in the hand. This particular knife, the DM-1124, I have seen this knife for sale on a bunch of different websites. Now, I'm going to tell you where I got it. And most of you know I do a lot of videos for our local survival store, The Outpost, and that's where I picked this up. So you local guys in Vegas and Pahrump, if you want one of these, or if you want any kind of, he has an entire case full of these Damascus steel type knives. Different shapes, sizes, neck knives, everything. So if you guys are interested in that, that's where you can pick them up. But online, the handles aren't necessarily uniform. I've seen some that are all bone. I've seen some that are all wood. I've seen some with the bone up to here and a little bit of wood. You know, the model knife isn't going to get you the same type of handle. But all in all, I don't really care too much about the handle as long as it looks pretty nice. And it does look nice. The only flaws I found with this knife so far, it did need a good little stropping and a little cleanup on the blade, which I did with my work sharp. It wasn't horrible. It was just, it was sharp, but not sharp like I like it, where I can go down my arm and shave hair. Now it is. The only real, and that end, as far as fit and finish goes, they used a very thick laminate kind of lamination here. Some kind of, you know, I don't know what it is, some polyurethane. And you can kind of see the waves in it. And where they glued the scales on, there's a little bit of glue inside here and here. And mostly that's cleaned up. I just used a little, believe it or not, Hoppy's number 9 works great on that kind of stuff. But as you can tell, it's a full tang knife. Nice thick spine, very comfortable in the hand. Nice sheath, I gotta say. You know, for the price of the knife and a Damascus blade, you're getting a pretty decent quality deal here. The sheath. Now, this is another thing. It does stay in there when you're walking, and it has a belt loop, so of course, you know, you're not going to probably dop it out. But if you're going to worry about, you know, I'm going to be rolling around on the ground, I'm going to be outside, you're definitely going to want to stick it in there a little bit better. Like that. And then it'll stay fine. See, I'm not even... But when I first got it, it was falling right out. So you got to give it a little shove, get it in there, get it worked in. I also sprayed it with a little bit of waterproofing. When it comes to me, it was a little bit lighter. So we're going to give this knife a try. You know, I'm pretty pleased with the Rite Edge stuff so far. You know, it's not a super high-end, you know, $400 knife, but I don't really need it for that. This is more for, you know, if I'm going to be out shooting or hiking up in the mountains or something, and I want a companion knife with me, but I don't want to bring my whole kit with a bunch of knives, and, you know, something like this, perfect for that. Just an easy to stick on your belt type knife. So anyway, that's the Rite Edge DM-1124. Rite Edge makes a ton of these different Damascus blades. They make a Damascus hatchet. They make a Damascus cleaver. It's one of those chopping cleavers that you kind of roll to cut meat and stuff. They make Damascus pretty much everywhere. And those are all made in Pakistan. They're not made in China. And the quality on them is pretty darn good for a Pakistani-made knife. Normally when you hear that, you don't think of super high quality. But, you know, you can see. That's a pretty well put together knife. Got nice little pins through it, all flush. No hot spots on the handle. Nice little loop for a lanyard, which eventually I'll put on. I mean, I just picked this up yesterday. So for local guys, you can pick this up at the Outpost up on Highway 160 in Pahrump. For folks out of the area, you can order them online. Just search for the Rite Edge DM-1124. And that will do it for today. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we will talk to you soon.